The Anunnaki, the hidden history of humanity. 500,000 years ago, Earth was a very different world. Vast forests stretched to the horizon. Volcanic plains shimmered under the young sun, and early humans, Homo erectus, roamed the wildlands in small tribes. They hunted, gathered, and lived by instinct alone. Then, something extraordinary happened. According to the ancient Sumerian tablets, the oldest written records known to humankind, powerful beings descended from the heavens. The Sumerians called them Anunnaki, meaning those who came from the sky. Were they gods, or could they have been something else entirely? Visitors from the stars. The story begins on a distant planet called Nibiru, far beyond the edges of our solar system. Nibiru's atmosphere was dying, and the Anunnaki faced extinction. Their survival depended on one thing: gold. Not for wealth, but for technology. They believed that gold particles suspended in their sky could repair and protect their atmosphere. Their ruler, Anu, sent an expedition led by his sons, the wise Enki and the stern Enlil, to a young blue planet rich in resources, Earth. When they arrived, they landed in what we now call Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. There, they began to mine for gold and other precious elements. Enki established the first city, Eridu, home in the far away. Soon other settlements rose from the dust: Bad Tibira, Nippur, and Shurupak. But as their mining expanded, their workers, the Igigi, lesser beings of their own kind, grew restless. They toiled endlessly in harsh conditions, digging deep into the African mines. Finally, they rebelled. Faced with chaos, Enki proposed a bold idea: to create a new species to take the place of the laborers. With the help of Ninhu Sag, the chief scientist, Enki combined Anunnaki genetic material with the DNA of early humans. The result was something the world had never seen before: the Lulu, or the primitive worker. These beings were intelligent, strong, and capable of following commands. Over time, through careful design and genetic refinement, they evolved into a new species, Homo sapiens, us. The tablets describe it clearly. Humans were not born from nature alone. We were engineered. For generations, humans lived under the care and control of their creators. The Sumerian Eden wasn't a paradise of myth, but a colony, a lush garden maintained by the Anunnaki, where humans served their purpose. But within the Anunnaki ranks, conflict brewed. Enki saw potential in humanity. He wanted us to grow, to learn, to become more than slaves. His half-brother Enlil, however, saw humans as a threat: noisy, multiplying too quickly, disobedient. Their rivalry split the Anunnaki into factions. The ancient texts speak of wars in heaven, battles between the gods themselves, fought not only in the skies, but through the fate of humankind. In time, the sons of the Anunnaki intermingled with human women, giving rise to the Nephilim, beings of immense stature and knowledge, known in later texts as giants or heroes of old. They ruled as kings, warriors, and demigods, leaving behind tales that became our ancient myths. But their power corrupted them. The world spiraled into chaos, and the Anunnaki Council decided to wipe the slate clean. A flood was coming. The Sumerian account predates the Bible story of Noah. It tells of Zeusudra, a righteous man secretly warned by Enki to build a great vessel to survive the deluge. When the floodwaters came, they erased nearly all life, yet humanity endured, guided once again by Enki's compassion. After the flood, the surviving Anunnaki returned to rebuild. They taught humans the skills of civilization: writing, agriculture, astronomy, and architecture. From these lessons rose the great empires of Sumer, Egypt, and Babylon, each ruled by dynasties claiming descent from the gods themselves. Among the Anunnaki's legacies stood Thoth, son of Enki, known as the Egyptian god of wisdom and writing. To the Greeks, he became Hermes Trismegistus, the Thrice Great. His teachings, the Hermetic texts, would later inspire secret societies, scientists, and philosophers for centuries to come. But not all Anunnaki followed the path of enlightenment. Enki's other son, Marduk, grew consumed by power. Seeking to dominate both gods and men, he allied himself with an ancient reptilian race, remnants of an older cosmic war. Together, they built the fabled empire of Atlantis. Atlantis was a marvel of technology: crystal energy, anti-gravity ships, weapons capable of reshaping continents. But Marduk's lust for control led to disaster. Legends say he attempted to harness a celestial body as a weapon and failed. In the chaos, Atlantis was destroyed, swallowed by the sea in fire and thunder. The survivors scattered across the globe, to Egypt, to the Americas, to the high plateaus of the Andes, carrying with them fragments of forgotten wisdom. But Marduk was not done. In time, he reappeared in Babylon, where he sought to rule Earth once more. There, his followers built a tower, the Tower of Babel, a colossal structure intended to reach the heavens. But the Anunnaki Council intervened. They confused human languages, dividing nations and scattering people across the earth. What was once one voice became many, and humanity's unity was lost. From that moment on, our history became of division, of kings and empires rising and falling, all tracing their roots to the same divine experiment. If there's truth in these ancient stories, they suggest humanity's origins are far more complex than we've been taught. We are not merely the result of random evolution, but a fusion of earthly life and cosmic intelligence. The Anunnaki may have left long ago, but perhaps they never truly vanished. Their influence lingers in our myths, in our symbols, even in our DNA. Every legend, every religion, every whisper of gods descending from the sky, they may all be echoes of a single incredible truth. Maybe the real story isn't about ancient aliens controlling humanity. Maybe it's about us, awakening to what we truly are. Because if the Anunnaki created humanity to serve, perhaps now, after ages of evolution and awakening, we stand ready to rise, not as servants of the gods, but as their equals. And maybe, just maybe, the true return of the gods isn't their arrival from the stars. It's our remembrance of who we always have been. This is the hidden history of humanity, and it's only the beginning.